This is Tim Gallagher of the Sioux City Journal with George Kramer, and I came to Storm Lake this morning to cover the Star-Spangled Spectacular Parade, and I meet a fella from Ashland, Oregon, who is in Storm Lake for the first time, right?
Correct. First
but
time.
You have a connection to Storm Lake.
I do have a connection.
And we are standing there. Tell me what we're doing, George.
I'm a restoration consultant in Oregon, and Oregon has the only other surviving pioneer statue, we call him Pioneer Mike, on our plaza, that is the brother of the Storm Lake, Iowa pioneer. Our statue was installed in 1910 and survived as a centerpiece in our town for over 100 years, and it was vandalized beyond repair. I was hired by the city to figure out what to do to bring the pioneer back, and on the internet I was able to discover that the only other pioneer of 4 that I know to have existed was in Storm Lake. And I called up, spoke to Jason, the assistant city manager, and made a crazy suggestion. I said, if we sent somebody back to make a model of your pioneer, would you let us do that? And we would cast a new one. And after thinking about it and asking if it would harm your pioneer in any way, I told Jason no, it wouldn't. We sent Kendall Minji back, a Portland bronze artist. Kendall spent a week in Storm Lake, scaffolded around this statue, made a model out of silicon and plaster, and we shipped it back to Oregon. Made a new bronze statue based on the Storm Lake Pioneer, and on July 3rd, 2016, we rededicated him on our plaza, where we have an old-fashioned 4th of July parade, much like Storm Lake's. And my wife and I are traveling through the Midwest. I wanted to come see the Pioneer, and I walked into this great parade where Ashland and Storm Lake should be sister cities. There's so many similarities, it's kind of amazing. And I'm just thrilled to be here, and I'm thrilled I bumped into you.
Thank you very much. And your wife's name again, Joyce?
Van Ann.
Van Ann.
V-A-N, capital A-N-N-E.
And she has Northwest Iowa connections.
Her family grew up in Rock Rapids. And one of her uncles, her great uncles, was killed in World War II, Lou Van Ann, and the VFW there is named in his honor.
Okay. So, Scout, tell me the name of
his real Scout.
Mike.
You call him the Pioneer.
Yes.
Which is the name that J.L. Mott, the foundry that cast the originals, called him. He was designed by Alan G. Newman, was the sculptor, based on a Salem pioneer called the Bremen Fountain. We call our pioneer, our statue, Pioneer Mike. And in Oregon, if you go online and look, or I can send you a postcard, in fact I probably have one on my phone, our statue sits on a cast iron base, also from the J.L. Mott Foundation or Foundry, with drinking fountains around the base. And so he's much taller, and he has 2 lights on him, and he's in the center of town rather than overlooking the lake. Your pioneer is looking off to the lake. Our pioneer is looking off to the east.
Okay, so ours is looking to the west. Actually, as a storm rolls in. Yeah.
But they're virtually, they are identical. It's absolutely, see, and yours even says Newman Sculptor right on it, which ours didn't. Ours was dedicated, it's called the Carter Fountain, because the founders of the town bank donated the funds to build our Pioneer when our plaza, our downtown square, was paved for the first time in 1909. And they wanted to have a decorative feature, and so they put a fountain in the middle in honor of their parents, and they bought the Pioneer from the J.L. Mott Company to do that.
I'm so glad that we bumped into each other.
Me too.
Great to meet you.
If you go to the city's website, there's a whole report that I wrote with all of this material and historic photos that was the document that was given to the city council about these are your options. You can do nothing, we can try to repair this one that we have and cobble it together, or we could hire this person to go to Storm Lake, Iowa and make a duplicate.
And then Storm Lake used, right? Was there damage done?
Storm Lake, this fountain, this statue is actually a replica that was built in the 1970s, I think 1974. Your Pioneer was damaged, I don't know how. And Storm Lake did sort of the same thing that we did. You sent your damaged Pioneer back to New York to the Kennedy Galleries, and they made this out of bronze. And your original zinc statue is in the Buena Vista Historical Museum. Our original zinc statue is currently in the Public Works Department looking for a home.
Well, thank you. On your cross-country trip, you were in Sioux City last night.
Correct.
You're headed to Mason City.
Yeah.
You thought, let's just stop in Storm Lake.
Let's just stop. And we actually had commented that we really hadn't seen much 4th of July festivities, and we come into this, so it was just great.
Thank you.